In today's open concept homes, defining spaces is key, and the right rugs are the best way to do that. Let me show you how to choose multiple rugs for one space that looks intentional and not accidental. In this video, I'm going to break down how to choose multiple rugs for one space in a way that feels cohesive without them matching. You'll learn what materials are better for certain spaces and how to choose the right size for each space. You'll be able to create a cohesive space that makes your open floor plan look intentionally designed without spending a fortune. Let's first talk about patterns. What makes patterns go together is that they are different enough in scale. It's the same with mixing patterns in fabrics, which I talked about in this video. If you want two rugs in the same space with a pattern, choose rugs that have a different scale of pattern. And I'm going to give you a few examples. In this one, the one rug is a large scale and the other rug is a small stripe. In this one, there's a large patterned rug mixed with a check. So these patterns are not anything alike and they're different enough to look intentional. The next thing that makes the patterns work together is that they work with your color palette. If you're not sure what your color palette is, a rug can be a really easy way to set the color palette for your room, which I talked about here. Let's take an example of this rug and see how you could set a color palette for the room and choose a rug that coordinates with it. Here's a few examples. All these rugs are in the same palette, but they don't match and they're not exactly the same color. If you feel like having two rugs with a pattern is too much, a foolproof way to get two rugs into a space is to choose one that has a pattern and one that's a solid. The best way to see if these rugs go together is to try them out on a mood board. And I did a quick tutorial here on how to do that. But you definitely want to put them next to each other so you can see what it looks like. And if possible, incorporate into that same look your paint and your floor color, because those are automatically part of your color palette. So now let's talk about materials. Let's go with synthetic rugs first. There are thousands of synthetic rugs out there. They come in every color and pattern. And you can even get a 9x12 sometimes for as little as $300 or less. These rugs are made from polypropylene. They're a great choice if it's a rug for a space that you don't intend to keep forever, because while they are meant for lots of traffic, they do show signs of wear quicker than some of the natural fabrics. So if you don't have a lot to spend, a synthetic rug can be a great step. I have a synthetic rug under my dining table because that way I don't care if someone spills a glass of red wine or a plate of tomato sauce. Natural rugs come in wool, cotton, and there's a whole family of seagrass and jute. Wool rugs in particular are the longest lasting fabric. You can find wool rugs that have been around for hundreds of years that are still in use, and they really hold their value, but they also cost a lot more. They're a good choice if it's a rug that you really love and one you think you want to hold on to for a long time. So for example, I've got a wool rug in my living room that I used to set the color palette, and it was a rug that when I saw it, I knew, ooh, I really like this. And for me, it was worth the investment because I know I can move it around from place to place. If you're curious about washable rugs and whether that's a good thing to try, be sure to check out this video where I looked at where I would use washable rugs and where I don't think they make a lot of sense. If you want to do a deeper dive into the rug materials and all the different weaves of rugs, because there's a lot, leave a comment. I'll try to cover that in the next video. Now let's talk about rug size. In the living room, you want to make sure that if you're using a rug, all of the furniture has at least the front legs on the rug. If you don't do this, it tends to look like you skimped and bought a rug that was too small. You don't necessarily have to buy a rug where all the legs, even the back legs, go onto the rug, but at a minimum, the front leg should be on the rug. If you have two seating areas and you want different rugs to separate these seating areas, you need to make sure that in each seating area, the legs of the furniture in that area are on the rug. In a dining area, you need to make sure that all of the chairs can scoot back without falling off the rug. You'll almost never regret getting a larger rug rather than a smaller rug, because it definitely makes your space feel cozier, unless you get one that doesn't fit in your room at all. So one warning about rugs is do not buy a rug thinking that you're going to test it out and think you're going to return it for free, because this rarely happens and it can be really expensive. I'm talking about $175 to return a 9x12 rug if you don't like it. So if you're on the fence about the rug, I recommend, number one, trying out the size of the rug in a floor plan. And number 2, order a sample if you're not sure about the color. If you have any questions about combining rugs in your space, send me an email. I'll try the rugs out for you on a mood board. I've also included links to several articles that I've written about different rug materials if you want to do a deep dive on that. See you in the next video.